Once upon a time, in a faraway land called Azeroth, there stood a beautiful old building called the Scarlet Monastery. Long ago, before any big adventures began, the monastery was a peaceful place. It was like a big, sunny school and church all in one. Tall stone towers reached up to the sky, and inside there were cozy libraries filled with glowing books about the holy light, a warm, magical power that helped people be kind, brave, and strong. Priests and paladins, that's like knights who could heal with magic, lived there. They studied, prayed, and helped anyone who needed it. Birds sang in the gardens, and the halls echoed with happy hymns. Everyone called it the Tearful Monastery, and it felt like a safe hug made of stone. Then, something very sad happened. A terrible sickness called the Scourge swept across the land. It was like a big, spooky fog that turned good people into shuffling, mean creatures who didn't remember how to be friends. Whole towns got lost in the darkness. The brave knights of the Silver Hand, the best protectors in the world, fought hard to stop it, but many good people were gone. In those scary times, some of the bravest knights and priests got together. Their leader was a mighty paladin named Alexandros Mograine, who carried a shining sword called the Ashbringer that glowed like the sun and could push back the darkness. They said, "We must protect our home and fight for the light." They found the old monastery again and turned it into a strong fortress. They painted the walls bright red like a brave heart, put on red armor and tabards, and called themselves the Scarlet Crusade. Now, everyone called the place the Scarlet Monastery. The Scarlet Crusaders trained every day. They practiced sword swings in the Armory, read old books in the library to learn new spells, and said prayers in the big cathedral, so the holy light would keep them strong. In the graveyard outside, they remembered the heroes who had fought before them. High Inquisitor Whitemane and Commander Mograine, Alexandros' son, watched over everything. They believed that if they stayed super brave and pure, they could chase all the darkness away forever. For many years, the Scarlet Monastery rang with the sounds of clashing swords and loud battle cries of "For the Light." Adventurers from all over Azeroth would come to test their skills there. Some came to learn, some to help, and some to face the challenges inside. The monastery became famous, like the biggest, most exciting obstacle course guarded by very serious knights in red. Even though the world outside kept changing, the Scarlet Monastery stood tall as a symbol of courage and hope. Kids in Azeroth would hear stories about the Red Knights who never gave up, and they would dream of growing up to be just as brave. And that's how the peaceful old monastery became the legendary Scarlet Monastery, a place where the light of hope still shines bright against the shadows. The end. Or is it? Part 2. The Adventure in the Lower Library. One bright morning, a young adventurer named Timmy, who was just about your age and loved reading magic books, heard about the Scarlet Monastery. "I want to see the famous library," he said. His wise old grandpa warned him, "Be careful, Timmy. The Scarlet Knights are very serious about protecting their treasures, but the light will guide brave hearts." Timmy packed his backpack with snacks, a sturdy wooden sword, and a shiny lantern. He traveled through the misty, tearful glades until he saw the tall, red towers of the monastery glowing in the sun. He tiptoed through the big wooden doors and chose the path to the lower library wing. The air smelled like old paper and glowing candles. Inside the halls, everything was quiet at first. Tall bookshelves reached all the way to the ceiling like giant red trees. But then, footsteps. A group of scarlet initiates in bright red robes marched by. "Halt! Who goes there?" one shouted. Timmy stood tall and said, "I'm just here to learn about the holy light and maybe borrow a book." The knights looked at each other. They liked brave kids who respected the light, so they let him pass, but warned him to stay on the path. Deeper in, the library got trickier. There were tricky traps. Books would suddenly fly off shelves like angry birds if you stepped on the wrong tile. Timmy had to jump and dodge while laughing. "This is better than recess." He met friendly spirits of old priests who whispered hints. The light protects those who are kind and clever. Next came the big gallery of treasures. Here, more Scarlet Guards trained with swords and shields. For the crusade, they yelled as they practiced. Timmy didn't fight them. Instead, he cheered them on and showed them a cool trick with his lantern that made pretty light patterns on the wall. The guards smiled for the first time in weeks and gave him a small red ribbon as a friendship badge. But the real challenge waited at the end of the long hall. There stood Arcanist Doan, the powerful mage of the Scarlet Crusade. He wore fancy flowing robes with golden trim and held a glowing staff that crackled with magic sparks. Arcanist Doan was the keeper of the library's greatest secrets. He was super smart and could shoot fireballs and ice bolts, but he was also very strict about protecting the books. "Intruder," Doan boomed, his voice echoing like thunder in a cave. "Only those pure of heart may touch the knowledge of the light." He waved his staff and created a big shield of magic around himself. Fireballs zoomed toward Timmy like speedy comets. Timmy remembered his grandpa's words. He didn't get scared. He used his lantern to reflect the light and made the fireballs bounce away. "I'm not here to steal." Timmy shouted, "I just want to learn how to be brave like you." The battle was exciting, but not too mean. Doan sent swirling arcane missiles and even turned the floor slippery with ice. Timmy dodged and weaved like in a game of tag. He found a special book on a high shelf that glowed with holy light. When he touched it, a warm wave of magic helped him stay steady. Finally, with a big friendly cheer, Timmy called out, "We can protect the light together." Arcanist Doan lowered his staff. He saw that Timmy's heart was true. The mage smiled and said, "You have passed the test, young one. True courage isn't just fighting, it's learning and protecting what's good." Doan handed Timmy the Scarlet Key, a shiny golden key that could open doors to even more adventures in the monastery. "Use this wisely," he said, "and always let the light guide you." Timmy left the library with new friends, a head full of stories, and the key safely in his pocket. The lower dungeon had been full of magic, challenges, and lessons about bravery and kindness. As the sun set over the red towers, Timmy waved goodbye to the Scarlet Monastery. He couldn't wait to tell his grandpa all about it. Part 3. The brave halls of the Armory and the shining Cathedral. With the shiny scarlet key glowing in his pocket, young Timmy felt super brave. "I've learned so much in the library," he said. "Now, let's see what other adventures wait inside the Scarlet Monastery." He waved to his new mage friend, Arcanist Doan, and headed toward the big locked doors that led to the Armory wing. The Armory was like the biggest training gym you could ever imagine. Swords, shields, and shiny armor lined the walls. The air smelled like fresh metal and leather. Scarlet soldiers trained hard here, swinging weapons and practicing battle moves. At the center stood Herod, the Scarlet Champion. He was tall and strong like a friendly giant, wearing a huge helmet with red plumes. Herod loved testing heroes in fair fights to make sure they were ready to protect the land. "Ho there, little adventurer," Herod boomed with a big laugh. "Do you have the heart of a champion?" He spun his massive polearm like a whirlwind and challenged Timmy to a test of courage. No real hurting, just dodging, jumping, and showing good sportsmanship. Timmy rolled under swinging blades, blocked practice strikes with his wooden sword, and even did a silly victory dance that made Herod chuckle. "You fight with honor and joy." Herod cheered. That is the true spirit of the Scarlet Crusade. He gave Timmy a strong handshake and a brave red cloak to wear. Wear this proudly. And remember, strength comes from teamwork and never giving up. Timmy felt taller and stronger already. The Armory had taught him that practice and fair play make everyone better. Next, Timmy used his Scarlet Key to open the grand doors to the Cathedral, the most beautiful part of the whole monastery. Stained glass windows glowed with colors of red, gold, and blue, telling stories of brave knights and the holy light. Soft hymns filled the air, and candles flickered like friendly stars. This was the heart of the Scarlet Crusade. At the front altar stood two mighty leaders, Scarlet Commander Mograine and High Inquisitor Whitemane. Mograine held a powerful sword that shimmered like fire, and Whitemane wore flowing robes and carried a staff that could heal and protect. They were strict, but cared deeply about keeping everyone safe from darkness. "Only the worthy may stand in this holy place," Whitemane said in a strong, clear voice. Mograine nodded beside her. They created a big challenge of light and courage. Beams of holy magic swirled around the room, and Timmy had to stay true, help imaginary friends in trouble, and show he understood kindness and bravery. Timmy remembered everything he had learned, reading in the library, training fairly in the armory, and always trusting the light. He solved glowing puzzles, reflected magic with his lantern, and spoke from his heart. The best way to fight shadows is with friends and hope. Mograine and Whitemane looked at each other and smiled. "You have passed, young hero," Mograine said. Whitemane added, "The Scarlet Monastery stands strong because of hearts like yours." They blessed Timmy with a special prayer of protection and gave him a small golden medallion shaped like the holy light. "Carry this wherever you go," they told him. "It will remind you that courage, learning, and kindness can brighten any dark corner." As Timmy walked back out of the cathedral, the whole monastery seemed to glow warmer. The Scarlet Knights waved goodbye like old friends. He had explored the graveyard paths, the magical library, the mighty armory, and the beautiful cathedral. He learned that the Scarlet Monastery wasn't just a fortress. It was a school for heroes who wanted to protect what's good in the world. Timmy returned home to his grandpa with stories, new friends in red, and a heart full of light. From then on, whenever he faced a tough day, he would touch his medallion and remember his big adventure. And the Scarlet Monastery stood tall in the Tirisful glades, ready for the next brave kid who believed in hope and courage. The end of the Scarlet Monastery story.
Christe eleison, in nomine Domini, lux in tenebris. Sanctus velum, dies ire, per crucem Dominus. Sanctus Dominus. Miserere.